Coach, we pads are on the full, and it's full contact now. What was first day like?
Yeah, it's yesterday wasn't what we wanted it to be. There was just some lulls from an energy standpoint. Today I thought was a lot better, better intent. There was physicality. There was more juice. Defensively, had a really good day today. So you want great back and forth. You want great competition, but the energy at all times got to be what it needs to be. So was pleased that our guys came back and answered to the challenge and had a good day.
You talked about there have been some discussions about bringing a couple players back. Now
Yeah.
there's a lot of. So where are you in that process?
Yeah, with those two guys back in the building right now, there's not really anything else to say because they're not eligible. So they've got to go through a process. They're back in the building. We'll see how it all plays out.
Is this really just about getting ahead of the curve just in case things
Yeah,
work
you
out?
just want to make sure that guys that are in that have that opportunity are back in the building and getting ready if it ends up being what we hope.
So they're unable to practice yet,
That's right.
but they're just,
Yeah, in the building.
What's that process look like to get them back to be eligible?
There's a lot of boxes to get checked.
Just on the surface, you know those guys pretty well,
Yeah.
and they were a big part of your defense last year.
Yeah.
If they are eligible and you have them, what do they add to this defense this year?
Yeah, I haven't really taken my mind there because they're not eligible. My mind's on the guys that I know that are going to play on that first Saturday in Davis Wade. So if they come back, then my mind will go there. But right now, again, I'm completely concerned and tuned in to the guys that are eligible for that first Saturday.
You mentioned you want the back and forth, but how encouraging is it to see just the effort and energy, especially on the defensive side at this stage of camp?
Yeah, again, we've got to play with great demeanor and physicality and edge and effort, and we know that. We talk about it, but again, today they answered the bell and needed to, and we're going to need that day in, day out.
do you know if Drawn would need a lawsuit to play, like, because of the Falcon situation?
There's a lot of boxes to be checked, so I'll leave it at that.
When you look at your defensive secondary now, obviously they look a lot different on the hoof than they
Yeah.
did. How are they performing? Maybe up to your level of expectation.
Yeah, we've got to continue to create the depth that we need. We've got the bodies. I do love the length and the speed that we have back there. It is a huge upgrade from where we've been. There's a lot of competition on the perimeter right now because I think from a receiver standpoint, there's quite a bit of depth. So being able to see that in practice every day has been fun to watch. So a ton of back and forth there and guys getting challenged, man, on both sides of the ball.
Adding on to that, when you have the depth at defensive back now, and you have more talent there, I mean, how much is that pushing your wide receiver unit?
Yeah, it's huge. You just, again, iron sharpens iron. Everybody understands that. And when you go against really good players every single day, you get better. And, man, we need that. We've needed that. We've got it right now at those positions and excited about and the competition that's gone on through the first few days and got to keep competing at a really high level to get where we want to go.
Zion is one of those receivers. He's
Yeah.
not very big, but he's got speed. Just talk about his development in the first few days you've seen.
Yeah, Zion's been really what I thought he was going to be. So it's time for him to go do it on Saturdays. But man, he's worked his butt off. He's created a ton of consistency. I feel like when I get out here on the practice field, I know exactly what I'm going to get from him. And at that position with a guy that's that fast, it's a little bit rare, but the guy practices the way you want him to practice. And so I'm excited about where he's at.
With the increased speed, not just Zion and Camden, but the whole receiver corps just appears to be faster in camp and
Yeah.
watched it yesterday. What does that allow the offense to do more that you maybe haven't been able to do the first 2 years?
Yeah, again, we're going to stretch people down the field. That's a huge part of it. But I think what it does is it creates the awareness for the other side of the ball and we better keep the ball in front of us. So applies more, maybe a little more pressure to the QB of just taking what they give us and making sure we're playing inside the scheme. If we'll do that, we'll be in a great spot.
If Drawn and Malik are eligible, do you know if you have roster space for them, or would you
Yes,
have to
we
make
will.
cuts?
Yeah.
It's interesting too. Everybody puts all this emphasis on the portal, but two of the players that we've heard a lot of talk about was Jakeem Shumpert-Perkins and Jet.
Yeah.
Two guys that are products of the Mississippi Junior College system
Yeah.
that redshirted last year. I mean, what does that tell you about kind of where to find great players sometimes?
Yeah, we've talked about that a ton, man, since I got here. That should be advantage us. Like our junior colleges inside our state should be advantage us, taking the right ones and then betting on us to develop. And those are two incredible examples. nobody wanted to talk about, which that's part of, and I'm great nobody talking about them until they go play really, really well on Saturdays. And I'm just excited about where they're at, and I'm excited about where they're going because they're going to be great players for us.
Do you feel like you're getting closer to having those 8 or 9 offensive linemen that you can count on?
We're not quite there yet. We're not. We are so much better with this first group, and then just 1 or 2 more. But we need 8 and 9 to really come on.
I've heard Dalton Tootsman's name a little bit the last couple of weeks. What have you say for him as a freshman coming in training camp?
Yeah, I don't use that word with him. I don't coach him like a freshman. He's not a freshman in my eyes. In our eyes, this is a guy that is very, very mature, has great physicality. He loves to play football and is very hard on himself. He's going to be an elite player for us. So excited about where he's at, and he's not a freshman in my eyes or in my mind. So he got to act like an old guy.
Related to the offensive line, what you said, finding those 69 guys, how much, not easy, but simpler is it now that it looks like you have transformed in 2 years from kind of an average physical-looking group to really what looks like an SEC group of linemen?
Yeah, I think it just, again, the development through the entire year is going to be night and day different because of the bodies. So when there does become these moments of scout team and you break up, the bodies that are going to be down on the defensive side giving them a look are real bodies, and they're real offensive linemen to give them the picture that they need week in and week out to get ready to go play on Saturdays. So there's a big effect on the entire program when you have 15 to 18 real bodies. We need to have 8 to 9 real players.
It looks like Blake Steen has a little positional flex for you. We've seen him work some at right tackle and at right guard in camp. How do you kind of see him factoring in with that versatility?
Yeah, he's played left, he's played right, he's played inside. So again, it's about the right 5 and putting them in the best positions of success, knowing that we're going to have 6 guys play. There's no question about that, maybe 7. But Blake does have this versatility, hopefully, to be able to keep some guys fresh and be able to get our best unit on the field.
What do you feel like you guys have been doing to improve your attention to detail?
Yeah, again, it just consistently talking through it every single day, trying to take advantage of every moment, trying to take advantage of every meeting, every walkthrough, every rep, and just understanding, the urgency of what it needs to look like to give us a chance on Saturdays.
Guys like Miles and DJ, they started in the spring scrimmage, and it seems like they've emerged as who you hope they would be through the portal.
Yeah.
What can you say about what they've retained from spring going into fall?
They both retained really well. Like from a knowledge standpoint, a great place. Really like, just again, DJ's maturity and his leadership, who he is, and his consistency. Miles is a really, really talented guy who's got the body that you want. We need Miles to continue to strain and create consistency. His consistency today compared to maybe what it was first 2 weeks of spring ball, night and day. Proud of him and his growth. Just got to continue to keep coming so he can be the player that he's capable of being and not just be good.
You talked about the importance of depth, and I feel like it's better now than it was then. How do you feel like the competition that it's created has kind of shown for practice since you guys have gotten back to action?
Yeah, again, it just makes it harder on every position to go have success when the other side of the ball has guys that can get it done. So, again, fundamentally you have to be better when you go against better players, and that's something that has been fun to see.